Over the Christmas period, I dived headfirst into Le Mans Ultimate, which recently has brought in an all-new ranking system where new players must complete 10 races before getting a rank. So in today's video, that is exactly what we are doing. These are my 10 races as a rookie in Le Mans Ultimate. There's some good racing, some bad racing, and some damn right awful races. So grab your hot drink of choice, get comfortable, and let's jump in. So race 1, we're here in the GT3s at Portimao. Now I must admit this was my first online race and we make a very rookie error here in a second. As you can see, I circle it, starts in 3, 2, 1 and we miss the start. So we actually missed going to the grid. So thankfully we do start from pit lane, we don't just miss the race like other sims. We did a couple of hours practice offline before jumping actually online just to get familiar with the game. But we were still very much green around the gills when I came to online. But here we are in race 1, showing that we're not the only one struggling as we go from pit lane to P9. And so far race 1 looks like we are amazing and everything's going well. Don't worry, there's plenty more negativity to come later in certain races, but we're doing quite well here in the first race. Again, everyone in this lobby is a rookie and we're up as far as P6, so we're doing pretty well. I wouldn't be the fastest guy on any sim ever, but so far in Le Mans Ultimate I'm really actually enjoying it. It's a real breath of fresh air, and we're now up to P4 somehow from pit lane, so a real good result. Round 1, race 1, P4. So race 2 rolled around, we were feeling pretty confident after race 1, and yeah, I was in VC for a few of these races, so the car choices weren't my own. So here now in the Aston Martin, and it's safe to say after qualifying kind of near the top 10 it felt pretty good, so I thought to myself, right, let's push on. I felt good, so I'm going to leave it play out and see what the live reaction was like. Oh my god, a lot of popping in and out, lads. Oh, that's some hit. And no right wheel, I'm out. Look my stream? Oh, right wheel, I'm out. Race 2, a DNF. On to race 3 now, we're here at Fuji, and the track that I actually didn't know. So you can see there we did a 1 minute 43 in qualifying. We're here in the Mercedes. It was a Mercedes set race. Got a really poor start. We kind of jumped the start and then kind of panicked in the stop, but we didn't get a penalty thankfully. And this race was all about just getting numbers on the board. We really weren't going to pull any trees up because, like I said, didn't really know the track. Did a few laps offline the night before just to get a rough idea where it went. But it was really a exploration of unknown for this race. This corner here, this left-hander, caused me so much bother throughout the race because I realised throughout the race I couldn't take it the way I wanted. This right-hander here, it's getting so much lift off oversteer through qualifying. And you can just see him tentative through the corner. We get to turn 1 now, again another position gained. So again, in these rookies lobbies, if you can just kind of keep yourself out of trouble, keep yourself off collisions with other drivers, as you're about to see, you can't keep yourself out of a lot of the trouble you'll see. But unfortunately someone spins and we just kind of get double-sided, so we go around the outside, gain 1 position from him spinning. Unfortunately, by going around the outside off track, we do lose another position. But overall this race was pretty interesting. You can see there was a lot of incidents, but yeah, overall a very good race. Went 3.5 seconds faster in the race, which was a great improvement following other cars. And yeah, I was actually really happy after this one. P13, not amazing, but for me a good solid drive. Race 4 brought us back to Portugal for Portimao, where we actually qualified quite well. We qualified 5th. A couple of people I'm imagining are starting from pit lane as they weren't ahead of me, so straight away into turn 1 into Lamborghini or up to P2, and I thought to myself, bam, podium guaranteed. And pushing on nice and early now, just trying to stick with the BMW in front and get away kind of clean. They're only 20-minute sprint races, so they're not the longest, so if you do make a mistake early, it is quite difficult to get yourself back into the race. And you'll see pretty quickly in this race that mistakes for me in my driving are not the most uncommon throughout the 10 races on Le Mans Ultimate. We're on the opening lap here, down into this very difficult right-hander, which was really snatchy on entry, just threw the car in. Rear tyre said no, and you think I'd learn my lesson a corner later, but no, once again, throw the car in, the rear end just says no. These are on fixed setups, so I really struggled with the Lamborghini for some reason around here. Just the rear end was so on edge. I had so many more of these moments throughout this race, as you'll see, and that really kind of killed my pace. You see there, we went from second out down to third, fourth for a second, and another lap later or 2 minutes later catch it a bit earlier, but that's number 3. As I said to myself, dude, what are we doing in this Lamborghini? It was a real struggle through this race, and we lose the position around the outside through Craig Jones' corner. And we're down now to P4, so what looked like a guaranteed podium in the Lamborghini, we are starting to struggle. Pushing on here now, and there's a guy down behind me. He just goes for a bit of a lunge, and to be honest, it was such a last minute move, and I was like, John's going to give him the space. We're not going to really fight him for it because he came from so far back, and in the end there's a car off in front of us anyway, so we do gain the position back on that guy. So you can see the McLaren to my left there having a bit of a snap in the second corner, but we just don't have the confidence in the Lamborghini at the moment to really fight back. We kind of look to the inside, but unfortunately we weren't really doing much in this race but having small slides and spinning, and it was a fun race, but just the speed I wanted to go was not there in the car. Thankfully Jim McLaren was ahead now, just a little boink there, and you see one off to the left, so that's another position back. So we're up to P4, so as much as I'm saying I'm not having a great race, it's still a pretty decent race, and we're still in the battle here for a podium in only our 4th race. So pretty happy looking back to be kind of showing speed, but it was just the stability issues that I was having, and clearly others were having, was just holding me back. And now we're up into P3, 7 minutes left. Do you think a smart driver would just kind of go, do you know what, let's take this, let's get a podium, let's bring it home? But this Porsche passed me about 4 laps ago, and once he got past me, his pace then immediately wasn't any better. I think as the race went on, I slowly started to get more confidence with the Lamborghini, go for a lunge, and I stand on the throttle pedal, and yeah, so that puts us down to P3. That's P4, so we've thrown away our podium with only 4 and a bit minutes left, and that's the other McLaren who crashed gone around me. So we're down to P5 after slightly going into P2 for a couple, or P2 for a couple of seconds. But yeah, don't worry though, our mistakes aren't over yet. On the final lap we decide let's have one more. I've lost count really how many spins we had. Just whatever way the car was set up for me, it was so oversteering on corner entry, and with whatever way I was driving it. Looking back, it probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world to keep changing cars between races, but it was a bit of fun. P5, which wasn't a bad result, but overall, very unhappy with that race. So for the 5th and final race here at Portimao, we decide to ourselves, you know what, our best race has come from pit lane, so let's do it again. We kind of leave the pit lane around there for a bit too long. We jump into the McLaren this time because we keep getting our asses handed to us by the Papaya car, so I decided, you know what, let's see what we can do. And once again, coming out of the pits, you always are guaranteed 3 or 4 positions, and we are now up into a nice P16. So 20 minutes, let's just see what we can do. Every race is slightly different because I keep changing cars, so the perfect speed isn't there, but you can see into turn 1, 2 guys will have a bit of contact. One goes flying off the BMW and 4 goes touch wide, and we just stick our nose through, and that puts us up into a nice little P14. So pace in the McLaren wasn't too bad. I think I stick with the McLaren for a few more races after, but this is the final race in Portimao. Overall, a pretty decent track. I actually do enjoy Portimao more in a car probably than I do on the bikes. That's 2 positions there. We're up now into P10. So again, from the pit lane, and you kind of get released quite late from the pits. If you have done a pit start yourself, you know that the full grid go past by a couple of seconds before you do end up getting released. So there is a bit of a delay, so you do come from quite a far bit back even though you are in the last position. We're battling here a couple of other McLarens, and again I feel at this point in the race I'm a bit quick on these guys, but in GT racing it's not the easiest to pull an overtake down. You really need to have some serious pace by us, as we do end up passing. I believe there's a BMW on the left which puts us up in now to P8. I believe there was a Porsche somewhere off in the barrier to my right that I couldn't see because we did gain a couple of positions there, and we're still getting very close to the back of these McLarens now. They're kind of tripping over each other and I'm getting in on it. There's cars catching me now from behind. There's a Porsche who are kind of second half behind me, so I'm trying to make sure I can get through here. One guy goes a bit wide like I did in the Lamborghini, and we just dive to the inside into this very difficult corner. We're here now on the last lap, and unfortunately for this guy, a couple of corners to go and he does just lose the rear. So maybe the pressure throughout the race paid off, but in race 5 we come home with a nice P6. Overall, pretty good result. I was happy the way I drove in that one. We are now on to Spa, and yeah, well, let's just say the next 4 or 5 races are going to be some of the probably poorest driving I've done. A couple of good races in Portimao. We had a good race in Fuji as well, and I came here, I know the track, I was getting a bit of feeling from these cars, so we decided, you know what, I can actually probably have some good results here, and I feel like maybe in the last few races here, we could definitely get a podium. We should have got on Portimao, but our first race we didn't qualify particularly too well. Again, the nature of this track, it's so long that if you do miss a lap, it's very hard to get a second lap in timed with your out lap. So for me, I end up qualifying a lot lower. You can see early on here up into a Rouge, very aggressive, very much sideways through, and onto the Camel Straight. Now I'm thinking, right, P14 definitely top 10 on the cards today, but your typical incident on lap 1 has put us out of the race. We have basically horrific front suspension damage. We tried to limp it around, but as we get to the middle sector, the car literally just gives up on us, and we have our second DNF in race 6. Race 7 once again comes from Spa in the McLaren. We've qualified 10th, so again slightly better pace of getting there. So I'm thinking that right now, if we can go for it, stay out of trouble, we can definitely have a good race here, maybe trouble the top 5. We actually get a pretty poor launch, just a little bit lazy on the lights. Guy on my outside goes very aggressive, and I think so. Let's just let him have it. The BMW steaming down the inside, small bit of contact with other cars, but thankfully we've made it through the source pretty tidily all in all, and we're on the run now to one of the most scary corners throughout this video for me was Rouge. You can see in the next race why that is. Unfortunately this race we make one very small mistake which leads to a very big crash. In about 3.5 seconds you're going to see me just brake and touch the curb, and the car gets pulled right. You probably don't see it as much through the screen, but in the wheel I can remember vividly feeling it, and that's 2 DNFs in a row, and that's 3 DNFs out of 7 races. So race 8 brings us back to the pit lane strategy, thinking best races so far have come when I haven't had the opportunity to fight the front guys, and thinking, do you know what, we've had so much issues in the opening lap. It was better off just giving ourselves a bit of a delta to the front guys and just have our own race and see if we can build into it, because I'm still learning this game. Like, there's no excuse for my driving in some parts of it, but we are very much trying to learn this game. And lap 1 there, the car was a bit light through a Rouge, and I just thought to myself, right, we need to be careful next lap around. And yeah, I'm just going to leave this play out and see what you think yourselves. Thankfully we spin away from the wall, but I don't think I did a lot wrong there. Just whatever way this Ferrari is set up, we've changed to the Ferrari, got out of the McLaren, and a lap later, and I'm kind of getting scared now of this corner, because I was one of those things where I didn't feel like I did a lot wrong. This time it's not me who goes off. I do kind of straight line a bit just to avoid him, hoping he wouldn't come back across me, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe we weren't too bad that lap. Jump another lap, and well, let's just see what happens once again. Unfortunately, I feel like the first time I turned in too late and caused a bit of oversteer, so I turned in early, hit the curb, get absolutely T-boned, DNF number 4. So race 9, and once again pit lane start here at Spa. We're really struggling now, and I just want a clean race. I just want to get to the end. I don't even care about the result. Once again we take the Ferrari for a spin. Quite surprising really, looking back, that I went Ferrari once again after the issues we had up the very dangerous Rouge section, and get on pretty okay here. We can make up some positions at the start, and again we're coming up to Rouge. No way, we can't do it again. There's no way we're going to spin again. Please God, no, I can't take it anymore. And thankfully, yellow flag, I think, right, we've made it through. And then this, mother of God, with code brown completely. I really just natural reaction there just to throw the car around, and thankfully we didn't spin, because if you could see my input on the wheel, I really threw the car right. But unfortunately it's not a Rouge this lap. It's just a small mistake, just drifting wide onto curb, a bit of lapse in concentration, and at this point I was just getting a bit frustrated with the game, because I felt like the couple of crashes we had out of Rouge weren't really my fault, and then another P10. Poor racing once again for me. So this time we decided, you know what, let's get out of the Ferrari, let's get back into the Lamborghini, the car I kind of probably felt the most in control of in certain races. Obviously not in Portimao as we saw, but I felt this car was probably the best suited to my driving style. We're here at the end of qualifying, which I haven't shown in most videos just because a lot of them weren't very spectacular, but we are 3 seconds under, showing that this lap was a lot better. And as we come up to the line, we actually end up qualifying a very high P3, so we're going to be right at the front here at Spa for the 10th and final race. We have a Lexus on pole and a McLaren to his left, and he seems to be kind of backing off, and I'm struggling to stay behind him even at the speed limit, and that kind of costs us a bit off the start, because we get boxed in down to turn 1 behind the red Lexus. You can see the gap that the BMW on the left got, and we've gone from P3 down to P6, so my chance of my podium early on looks to be after failing away there, just because we've lost so many positions at the start. And like we've mentioned, it's very difficult to overtake, I find, in a GT race, just because the cars are so similar. There's not a massive pace delta, and it's very much down to what you can do. So once again, just trying to keep with the front guys at the start, build into the race, because I know obviously in this Lamborghini I was clearly a bit quicker than the majority of the field, so I felt like I could have a decent result. We get a Merc to our right, and I was just thinking to myself, at this point we've had like 14 Fs in a row, just let him go. Didn't want to fight it, had no interest in battling and trying to get with this guy. So we have a little fun time in this car, because it was just really suiting this racetrack for me. I could just enjoy it a bit more. Still not stable in most places for me. Gain 2 positions back here. We go to the outside of this guy.
What is bro doing?
And I don't know if he intentionally tried to wreck me or just got frustrated, but yeah, he had a moment of madness. And once again, you can see this is Eau Rouge we're approaching. Comment down below what you think is about to happen, because I know exactly what happens, and it's exactly the really same thing again, but this time we're ready for it, and we actually do exceptionally well and stay out of the wall. And we don't really lose much time to the cars behind. Obviously we lose 1 position coming back onto the grass there, and we just stay right, just because I know myself absolutely no point in going left. But this race was just full of maniacs, and you'll see here in a second what I mean about that, up into the very difficult right hander at the end of the straight. This guy comes from a mile back in the BMW. We pull out left just to get out of his way. He goes across the curb, intentionally tries to wreck the guy, misses him, and boom, gets him second time around, and his wheel is just left there. So at that point in time, I presume there's prior that I didn't see. Thankfully I didn't get collected at the start, but our little half spin going up Rouge has been kind of null and void after them guys killing each other. We're here now, 4 minutes to go, we're still in P4, and someone has lost it in the same corner, which promotes us to P3. Now at this point I had about 2 seconds back to a McLaren behind, and I was thinking, you know what, it's the final race now, let's not drop this, let's not make a fool of ourselves, which thankfully we didn't. The 2 guys in front were actually battling, and we were slightly quicker, and we were pulling them in. I wasn't risking too much, because again we saw there was a bit of a mistake up Eau Rouge, and the car was a bit lively, so I knew I couldn't risk too much, because I would get bitten still, as I'm not 100% comfortable on this game yet. But into the bus stop chicane we come for the final time, for the final race of the episode, and we got our first podium, so I'm absolutely delighted. Races 6 through 9 were pretty rough, just a lot of mistakes, a couple of takeouts and stuff like that, but across the line, P3, absolutely chuffed to get a podium in the final race of the challenge. So then that was the 10 races for the rookie license on LMU, and I'm very happy to say I got through them with some decent results, some decent driving, and some not so decent results in driving. Overall, had a blast, and I am really enjoying Le Mans Ultimate at the moment. If you are considering picking up, I could only recommend it at the moment. I'm having a great time, and if you want to see more on the channel, let me know, because like I said, I am enjoying a lot, so it should be something I'm playing a lot over at the start of 2026. And if you do enjoy this side of content, drop a like and subscribe. It did take me over 4.5 hours of footage to go through for these 10 races, so to get it down into an 18-minute video, I'm pretty happy with that. But anyway guys, hope you have enjoyed. I shall see you in the future with a brand new video. Thanks for watching. So long.